Secrets of a single man, his eyes a fiery blaze. Careful what you let it burn, the flames might catch your page. Release those worries that you made, throw them to the fire. The stress inside and the broken lies, secrets of desire. You ain't gotta whisper, speaking to the cold. Keep that coin tucked away, pay the boatman's soul. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. Troubled mind, battle tight, it only shows a fuse. Waiting man with a match to light, destruction is the muse. Release those worries that you made, throw them to the fire. The stress inside and the broken lies, secrets of desire. You ain't gotta whisper, speaking to the cold. Keep that coin tucked away, pay the boatman's soul. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. You ain't gotta whisper, speaking to the cold. Keep that coin tucked away, pay the boatman's soul. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. Whoa, oh, oh, secrets that we hold. Secrets of a single man, desires a fiery blade, desires a fiery blade. All right.
Добрый вечер, сегодня с вами «Музика ЖиВе». У нас в гостях Ceekay Jones из Лос-Анджелеса со своим братом Джейкобом. Hi guys, thank you for coming through the winter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see you're not cold anymore.
No, not anymore.
Like in LA.
Yeah, it's like LA here. It's like under the lights.
What is your impression about today's show, your performance?
Honestly, amazing and overwhelming, and a little bit shocked. I think it was a long day of travel through treacherous weather,
9 hours.
and it was unsure if we were going to make it or not. And you know, when you're so far from home and in a very a situation where it was a little unknown with the weather, I didn't expect to show up to a bunch of smiling faces waiting like this. You know, it's tough to get people out when the weather's bad. So, coming into town, seeing how bad it was out, I didn't really expect to come and see a full place like this. So, I'm grateful, very grateful.
Yeah.
So.
What is your impression about you were touring in Ukraine before our town?
Yeah, one show before.
One show, and you will have some shows
a few
after.
More, yeah.
A few more. how come that you came here to Ukraine?
To be honest, well, I have.
How did you decide to come to a country which is at war?
I think it was, I think it was something I spoke to my record label about and booking agency. My record label for this album that is actually released today, ironically, is they're based out of Latvia. And so when we were speaking about being on the road during the album release, which is important, we just spoke about different places I could tour and what was easiest for them to get me on the road. Booking tours in the United States is very lengthy and very intense as far as getting it all together, and there wasn't a lot of time for me to stay home. So we thought it would be best to come to the area that they are more versed and comfortable with booking, because they're based out of Latvia. And so this was one of the places that, you know, was open to the idea of us coming. Not in a million years would I have ever imagined coming to the Ukraine to play music.
Did you know anything about this country before coming?
I mean, very little. I will definitely be honest in the fact that, like most Americans, we are in a bubble, and we live in our little, for lack of better terms, Hollywood bubble. And so I definitely knew about Ukraine, but as far as what's going on here politically and just, you know, as you know, living,
some
very
people
little.
are afraid to come here because they think we don't have water.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the Hollywood, the bubble, you know. So and it's very, you know, enlightening for us to come here and again see all these amazing people.
But
and
people are people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's in the heart. It doesn't matter whether you're at other ends of the world. We're all from the heart. So wherever I go, I know that if I live here, then that's where everybody else is too.
Yeah,
so
you bring home to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just fear from the TV. Everyone gets scared of the TV. But
yeah, the reality and what is TV is saying is really different.
yeah.
yes.
Speaking about your music, name the genre you are playing in.
Well, my career in music has been very spanned across a lot of different genres, with bands and as a songwriter, as a producer, and as an artist. And so when I decided to do solo music, I wanted to try to figure out how to encompass all the different musical genres that I've been a part of, while also staying consistent as just a true songwriter. So everyone wants to label you. So I created the label that I have for my music is Southern Urban Soul. You know, I have a lot of Southern, you know, R&B and country roots in my songwriting. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of soul in my music and what I like, you know, how I structure songs. And I also am from an urban background with hip hop and New York hardcore. So I bring that you know, urban street life, if you will, into the songwriting, you know.
I would say that what you showed us today was very much American. Yeah. A little bit of, as you said, country music, which is American music. Absolutely. Original. Yeah. Hip hop music, which is also, and you gave us a chance today to hear something that is unique due to your style, due to your music, and something that is really American.
Definitely.
Yeah, I saw that you performed a lot with other musicians.
Yeah.
You have a lot of video clips made. When you were performing with other people,
with the bands and stuff.
Yeah, with the bands.
It's just been a natural evolution for me. I've always come into this. I think it's kind of important history on me is I never planned on being a musician. I was an athlete, and both my parents were professional ski racers, and I was a professional snowboarder in my teen years, and I traveled competing snowboarding, and somehow I had an injury, and in that time of injury, I ended up in a band. And that band in the U.S., you know, took me from athletics into music. and steered me down this course that here I am today. So in that, I never had any plans on how I saw myself as a musician or the genre of music I wanted to be in. And I've kind of continued that throughout my career. I've never really been like, this is my thing. I've always, if an opportunity came, I would gladly go down that road. And so that has allowed me to become this very wide arranged artist with all these different backgrounds, you know, that I have in the music. So that's really, you know, where it's come from me. I'm kind of like I don't have any boundaries. If it feels right, you know, like he said, if it feels right here, then I'm gonna do it, you know. And that's kind of, I try to come from the heart no matter what.
When performing with bands, with different bands, what was the most remarkable experience? What other musician was the one whom you remembered best? Any story about?
I mean, I've had some very wild experiences in the music business, touring and playing with amazing people. I'd say the biggest opportunity that I've had was in these last few years. I had a single that has internationally gone platinum with a group, Bliss and Esso. I played the song Tonight My Life. I originally wrote that song to be on my solo album, and Bliss and Esso out of Australia asked me if they could use the song for their album and then just put their rap verses on it instead of mine, and then have me continue to be on it. And that song, obviously, like I said, did very well, and I spent a lot of time touring mainly in Australia with them, and playing shows like 50,000 people and just massive crowds, and then being a part of award shows with people like Alicia Keys and Lorde, and you know, just people I would have never thought I'd be around on stage, and I got to. So that, I think, was a big, impactful one. And also in that same time, getting to share the same stages with Pearl Jam and Snoop Dogg. And
okay, so now you perform with your brother.
Yes.
Your blood brother.
Yes. My older brother. Jake was the first one in my family. My parents were both musicians. They actually met through music.
And despite that, you never thought you were good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. No. But Jake always played guitar when we were younger, and he's always played guitar. And he's had his, journey in life, as I, and now we finally have an opportunity in the music that I'm doing now to bring him in and do what we're doing. So whenever I play, I have a band. He's also playing guitar in that band. We do the duo like you saw tonight. I do sometimes play completely solo, acoustic, also with all the loop pedals as a solo one-man band type thing. I try to change it up. My act always changes, to keep it fresh and to keep the sound different, so you never really know what you're going to get when I show up. So
yeah, that's interesting.
This is very new for me. I played in my bedroom my whole life.
This is his first tour.
My first time performing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've only played.
But you say you have a band. You play?
No, I play
with
his
my
band.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So I misunderstood. So this is the first tour and the first time you're performing in front of people.
Pretty much, yeah. I've only maybe 10 times I've performed in front of people.
Yeah.
Comparing you like blood brothers, like growing up together, I think you were the first who inspired, but you are the wild one.
Yeah, the front runner. Yeah.
Dragged away, so easy and a life so plain, so simple when you stay in your lane. It's not 'cause we all wanna change our mind. It's alright for the night. It's not your body now, you won't feel the pain. It's alright for the night. All fight, lose side, and forget about fun. It's alright for tonight. It's not your body now. You won't feel the pain. It's alright for tonight. Unless that people is pointing you away. It's gonna pull that trigger, 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 bang, bang. It's gonna pull that trigger, 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 bang, bang. It's gonna pull that trigger, 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 bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Thank you.
About your tattoos, I cannot notice them.
Yeah, I know that. I stick out.
Is this the common style of tattoos in USA?
I'd say right now tattooing is so vast now. I'd say tattooing is very common now.
Yeah.
There's almost fewer people without tattoos in the United States than there are with. I mean, somebody's got one small one. I mean, being this extensively covered is a little bit more of a commitment. Living in Southern California, you see it more. Again, the California lifestyle, especially in the Los Angeles and the Hollywood lifestyle, is very much a scene. Everybody wants to be seen. It's the look, to have it, and being, covered in tattoos definitely is the cool thing to do. I've been involved with the tattooing world for a very long time. Since I was, 15 years old, I've been getting tattooed, and I'm, 39 years old. So
where is your first one?
On my leg.
On your leg?
Yeah.
Where is the last one?
No.
No?
These birds, I think, were the last. I'm constantly getting work though, so it's like it's all blending.
But you're going to continue.
Full, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, just not my face.
Okay.
He promised our mom.
Yeah, my mother. Yeah, I would never. I don't want it anyway, but I promised my mother I would never tattoo my face.
Cool. I have a question about so the music is the primary thing you are doing in life.
Yes.
And nothing else. No job, no other jobs.
I have not
office.
I have not had a normal job besides it was snowboarding, compete competitively, and then music. And I have not had a job except for music since 1999.
Is it easy to be a musician in USA? Is it easy to make for living?
Absolutely not. It's a struggle every day. It's a passion, and I just say it's a roller coaster. You ride the highs, and you deal with the lows. And to truly live 100% musician lifestyle is very much like a gypsy. There's no foundation of like a fallback. It's an everyday roller coaster. That's kind of the best analogy I can use, because you never know when you're going to be at the high, because in the next day you could be at a low, you know. And so it's the labor of love. I would rather be doing this than anything else. Security, job security to me is not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in following my passion and what makes me happy. So
that's great. That's awesome. But I feel that in USA the culture of going to bar to listen to live music is really developed.
I think with the difference that I've noticed, and I think Raphael touched on it as well, is the going to concerts and going to see live music is definitely something that is, I think in the United States is taken for granted a little bit more. Out here when I've toured, and I have had the blessing of, over the last especially 10 years, touring a lot in Europe, most Central Europe. This is, like I said, my first time in Eastern Europe, but every time I've always toured outside of the United States, I've and maybe it's because I'm American and people want to come see my music as an American. I don't know if that's the case, but my perception is that there's a grateful and gratitude that I get wherever I am with the music that I don't normally, not to say it's not there, but you don't normally see that day to day in the United States. As Raph touched on, there's so much of people doing the same thing for the same reasons of just, you know, wanting the fame and wanting the spotlight, you know, that, and we are, our you know, U.S. market and music scene is very much cultivates that, you know, that's what it's all about, the pop charts, you know, and that, and if you're not there, it's like, that's the ultimate look of success. Whereas, you know, I feel what we did here tonight is as much a success as being in the pop charts. I mean, to come to a place in Ukraine that barely, I mean, how many Americans have come here to play?
I think you're the first. Yeah.
So that's amazing to me. That's a success for me, that I can come and share my music this far away to a community and a town that has never even had an American come play
speak
music.
Personally.
Yes, I mean, that's this is treasured for me, you know. So like, because these are unforgettable moments, you know, whether and especially in intimate like this, you know, playing. I've had the chance to play those massive crowds, and yes, they're great, but I really enjoy, and that's one of the reasons I to be a singer-songwriter and a solo artist in this light. These are very intimate settings, and I get a lot more to be this close to the people and to be able to have these kind of conversations rather than sitting on a big stage and saying thank you, good night, and walking away and moving on, you know. It means more, it's impactful for me for what I'm doing, because then I can get to hear and see, you know, the impact of my music.
But do you have a dream of becoming this kind of top chart musician?
Had you asked me that question when I was 21 years old, I would have given you a far different answer than I'm going to give you now. Because when I was 21, absolutely I wanted to be this. But I've had an amazing career this far, and doing what I'm doing right now is an amazing thing. Success to me is to be able to do this and pay my bills at home, make sure my dog is fed, because she's top priority for me. Making sure that I'm fed, my bills are paid, and that people are enjoying themselves in the show. That's success to me. So if I get to that level, it's only because I'm following this same formula of just doing what I love to do. And if that catches on, that's awesome. But I'm not going to try to do something or be somebody else to get to that. You know, that's not who I want to do.
Do you think the top chart musicians are losing themselves in the sake of being commercial, staying on the top charts?
I think I wouldn't say all of them are, because everybody, there's always exceptions to the rule, where there's artists that are just came out pure and like have done themselves and they've gotten big. But for the most part, yes, the sacrifice to get to that level and be in that manufactured world of music, the pop world, you do have to sacrifice a little bit of yourself to do that. And I'm not, that's to each his own, you know. If you're comfortable with that, that's great, you know. Like I speak for myself, you know, and I've always been, anybody who knows me well, I'm kind of hard-headed on who I think I am and what I want to do, and I've always marched to that drum beat of my own. So, you know, and whenever I haven't, I've been very uncomfortable. you know, and regretted being somebody else to get somewhere. It doesn't feel good to me. So
it's very much a business at that level.
Yeah.
And whenever you make it a business, profit is how you make a business successful. So most artists at that level have to sacrifice their own creativity and their own vision for profit to keep the profit going.
Because the top charts musician, they have to write the same music
Yeah.
over and over
It's
again.
very
Yeah.
formulaic. It's very much they plug into this very mechanized machine-like formula, and they write the same. There's a small group of writers that write a lot of the music you hear. It's not a big pool. It's actually a very small group, and so they just keep plugging the numbers into the same math equation because they know what numbers they'll get out the other side.
Thank you. Maybe one of my last questions would be: Have you ever done some other job rather than musician, like maybe producing something, making video clips, or you were only like only musician?
I've you know, he can answer that. He's done a lot. I personally have just been involved in the music world, whether it be producer, songwriter, or recording artist and performer. That has been my job and my title. It's something always in and around music.
But you did do some management work, like
Never
not
managed, but producer.
producing.
Yeah, I've done producing. I still do. You know, I'm moving a lot into that now as I've gotten more comfortable as a musician myself, and like being. For a long time, it was really about my product. Now I have a fun time because the more I songwrite. You realize a lot of time as a songwriter, you don't always write songs for yourself. You just write songs. And sometimes the songs you write would work better for somebody else if they want that song. So then that was the start of it. And then now working as a producer, you can not only bring a song to an artist, but also help them, you know, cultivate that song into something for them and be a part of that process, which is very interesting to me now too. So
What would be your advice as a producer in this? It's really, as a musician, we know you, but also it's interesting as a producer. What kind of advice would you give to Ukrainian musicians, to Ukrainian musical industry?
yeah. I think that it's right there. It's sticking true to yourself, understanding that there is things that you will have to, you know, polish and learn in order to create a good product. You know, I think the greatest producers are the ones that see an artist and bring out the best in that artist. So and it's because as an artist, it's kind of hard to recognize where your greatest points are in what you do. You know, you're all in here. So somebody the producer, you can sit back and go, you're really good at this. These are the highlights and the accentuated points that you should bring out. And so that would be my advice is really spending the time to learn about where your best points are and what you bring to the table, you know, that people are intrigued with, and the word, just emphasize.
See the individuality and bring it to
life. and also be original. Originality is key.
It's your heart. At the end of the day, when people enjoy music, the greatest artists in the history of music are the ones that get you here. When you watch them, they're the ones that make you tear up. They're the ones that get you in your gut. And so at the end of the day, no matter where you go, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you bring, then people will connect with it. They can't help but connect with it. It's human nature. It's how we are as humans. So the truth is, no matter what you do, if it comes from there, it will always be relatable. People will always find a connection to it.
Yeah, so the recipes, there is only one recipe for being a good musician, a good producer, is to put your heart in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And do the work.
and work.
Do
You
the
gotta go
work,
to
you know,
school.
commitment. Well, and school could be just the 10,000 hours,
skills.
the proverbial 10,000 hours. It takes time. You know, perseverance is the other thing that I would always tell somebody that asks for advice is perseverance. It doesn't happen overnight. Every overnight success has a long story leading to that overnight, you know, so it really is about perseverance, you know, and making sure you love it.
What is the name of the album which was released today?
Yeah, The Introduction to Mr. Jones.
The Introduction to Mr. Jones was released today.
Today.
Cool. Listen to Introduction to Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Спасибо большое, что слушали нас. Thank you for coming.
Thank
And
you.
I will be, not only me, but all people in our town will be glad to see you again. We loved your music.
I want to come back in summertime because I've heard Ukraine is beautiful in the
Yeah,
summer.
come in
Now
summer.
I've seen the winter, and now I want to see the summer. I got to get both seasons.
Да. Thank you very much. Спасибо, что смотрите нас. С нами в гостях сегодня был мистер Ceekay Jones с братом Джейкобом. Подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки, оставляйте комментарии. Мы будем рады с вами общаться. Всего доброго.
It all started with the jam session, expressed up in a room, plugged in, white green, sonic bass with a boom. But a boom into a flower for an ear to consume. A bond so tight like a bride and a groom. For songs like wines for the dream in a rose. Stories told broke more like music was bold. It was a passion, thirst getting drunk in the light. Lust for the one to stay musically tight. Yellow lights flew by past windows and wheels. Hearts open city lights bright and warm to the field. Never rules of competition, keeping a score. A tape and a photo flash focus. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly, get washed on by. Piece of me was stolen. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly. Watching time just fly. I miss those days. 7 years, life shows so many miles on the road. For lives living struggle, only few of us know. Good times in bed, gave it all that we had. A journey for some music, now it's been with the pair. We went from boys and men, now the path unknown. Put a town on a map of an area code. And made a choice so bold, and we took the step to live life out on the road. Wanna never forget those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly, getting washed on by. A piece of me was stolen. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly. Watching time just fly. I miss those days. Watching the time fly, and I miss those days. But I keep rolling, I miss those days. Watching the time fly, and I miss those days. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly, getting washed on by. A piece of me was stolen. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly. Watching time just fly. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly, getting washed on by. A piece of me was stolen. I miss those days, the life we made. The wheels keep rolling. Watching time just fly. Watching time just fly. I miss those days. Thank you. All right.